Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, I think it is. What day is today? Sunday, yes. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, January something or other. Before we begin, I would like to thank Sad Boy who said, Raid Shadow Legends, and then also Sad Boy who says, no, and then Kyle who says, yes, and then Sad Boy who says, no. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. That is very kind of you. And a fun way to start the show. I'm not really sure what I was going to talk about tonight because I'm sorry about missing the show yesterday. That wasn't intentional. I went to bed and it's like I'll do the show whenever I wake up, and then I woke up at about 7:30 in quite a bit of pain because I was doing housework yesterday, and my body's like no. And Lady Monkey was kind enough to feed me, and then I went back to sleep. And I didn't wake up until almost 8 o'clock, to almost 8 p.m. So there was no time for a Monkey in the Morning. Sorry about that, guys. Yay, save me from the dump stream. Saved is a weird word to use there, Becca. And James, thank you. I did take my pills, and I need to take more, but the timing at about 3 o'clock, I need to take the rest of them. So yeah, I didn't see anything today, not much of anything. All that I know is what I heard on Lords of the Night and a little bit of Twitter trolling I did beforehand. But we should talk about the Twitter troll real fast. Old friend Danny Courts. This guy's hated me for a long time for reasons I can't fathom. He's made a video about me, and I made a couple of rude ones about him. In fairness, I didn't make a couple of rude ones about him. I mean, technically there were 2 videos, but it was a continuation. I was having so much fun goofing on the guy that I needed 2 episodes to do it. You can't find those anymore. With YouTube's new terms of service, I figured those were ones that if somebody like, I don't know, Danny got a hair up his ass and went and reported me for it, it's the kind of video that could have got me in trouble. So I took it down. Yeah, that's the one where I asked him if he knows how many licks it takes to get to the center of a window, which I'm still proud of that question. But I also know that that kind of stuff is the thing that YouTube would look at and go, why Monkey so mean? Thank you, Shiograth. I thought I was your only acceptable troll. You are indeed, Shio. Well, most of the time. I don't troll Twitter too bad, I don't think. I mean, I don't take Twitter seriously. I go over there, people are like, it's a dumpster fire. I'm like, yes. And I have a little blowtorch to help it along. Yeah, but anyway, Danny showed back up to show how smart he is. He's had a thing for me and Undoomed, and he links us together a lot, and I don't know why. He actually did a video about Undoomed one time where me and Undoomed had done a video on the same chick, and he's like, I could talk about Monkey, but I'm going to talk about Undoomed instead. I'm like, whatever, dumbass. Do whatever you need to do. But he's just been hanging on to our nuts since then. But then maybe 6 months or so ago, I can't remember how long. Maybe it's been a full year. He decided he had enough of our shit. For the record, we never fuck with him until he comes and says something to us, and then it's fair game. But he'd had enough of our shit and he blocked us. I'm like, oh, thank God, I don't have to deal with this idiot. But he's come back on a whole new Twitter. He's one he just started this month, and apparently the first thing he wanted to do was make a complete fool of himself. Undoomed had made a tweet with a picture of Jessica Yaniv and her calling it deceptive would be kind. Jessica Yaniv, for those of you who don't remember, is the Canadian trans thing. And I'm not calling it a woman or man because I don't know. It's a thing who tried to sue a bunch of places using the Canadian laws because these places that cater to women's genitals wouldn't wax his balls. Yeah. wouldn't wax his balls. He's also gone after a OBGYN because they won't see him. It. Sorry, YouTube. I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to use in this instance. So I'm not being disrespectful. Not fucking. I'm being disrespectful. Fuck that guy. He's a dirty pervert. But his newest. I don't know why he did it, but he's using a picture of a very attractive young lady. I don't know how old this girl is. She's very pretty, very pretty. If I had to guess, I'd say 16. It feels to me like a Undoomed call it catfishing, and I'm not sure that's what it is. Okay, let me rephrase it. I think it is, but not the catfishing we're used to. Because Jessica Yaniv has a very weird obsession with teaching young girls how to use tampons. Seriously. To the point where he actually is asked, should I show them how to use it? Well, when you don't have a vagina of your own, there's only one way to show somebody how to use it, isn't there? Isn't there? And he's made these comments several times, and including about 12 and 13-year-old girls. He was talking about 12 and 13-year-old girls who were on a ferry, and he always sees them there. And he wonders what he should do if one of them asks to borrow a tampon. Should he show them how to use it? A 12 or 13-year-old girl. So Jessica's got this young picture on there, and I think it's more for that, to try to lure young girls in for that. Now, I don't know. This is just my opinion, the way it seems to me. But I don't see any other reason why you would be so interested in doing that. It looks like a photoshopped picture of her as a teen. I don't know what it is. Either way, it is very deceptive, very deceptive. But anyway, so Undoomed makes a comment, saying your catfish isn't going to fool anybody. To which old Danny Quartz replies, Undoomed's going after a young girl again. He said some other stupid shit in his tweet. I forget exactly what, but Undoomed's going after a young girl again. Like, dude, that's not a young girl. That's an old man. The fuck are you even talking about? Yeah, come back to Twitter and make an instant fool of yourself, you dumb motherfucker. And then to me, he got upset about some shit I said to Alyssa Milano. Well, more about Alyssa Milano, but I did tag her in it. So I think I tagged her in it. I can't remember. But Alyssa really, really loves Bill Clinton. She loves her some Bill Clinton. And she was trying to drag, I guess is the word the kids use these days, trying to slam Donald Trump. Remember, you'll always be an impeached president. I want to remind you, she loves Bill Clinton. Has said she's actually, this is a tweet she sent out. Bill Clinton, I love you so much, like crazy amounts of love. That's one of her heroes, man. But remember, Donald Trump, you're gonna have to live with that forever. You've been impeached. Well, yeah, he's been impeached, but so was Bill Clinton. You don't seem to have a problem there. And Pat was the one who brought that up, that Bill Clinton had been impeached, and retweeted that. And I just added to it, he's also been accused of sexual assault, which he has, which by Alyssa Milano's hashtag believe women bullshit, she has to believe. She actually did this right after she tweeted out, Bill Clinton, I love you so much, like crazy amounts of love. It was that same day, but later on, she tweeted out this video of sexual assaulters and bad people. And in that, it actually included Bill Clinton's picture several times. So she tweeted this out after having said that she loves him very much. You have to, by that reasoning, by any kind of rationale, think that she knowingly loves a sexual predator. I'm just throwing that out there. So I just simply say, you don't seem to have a problem with Democrats who are accused of sexual assault and rape. And remember, Bill Clinton was actually accused of flat out rape. not just groping and rape. Now, again, accused. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Juanita Broderick is full of shit or not. But again, using their rationale, you have to believe that he's a rapist. And Danny responded with this. Too bad Bill Clinton never raped anyone. Although I know a few anti-feminists from the peanut gallery who have been accused of rape and still succeed. Dun, dun, dun. I do. What the fuck are you talking about? So I just asked him, like, what about believing women? And this was his answer. Well, women that watch Fox News are bound to make lies. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Women who watch Fox News are bound to make lies. And that's his excuse for not supporting a alleged rape victim. Because maybe they watched Fox News. Like, wow. Wow, dude. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? This is the comeback. See, you guys, we talked about this. You believe women bullshit. You should have just abandoned that from the start, because you know what? Some women do lie. And there's a whole bunch of examples of it. So, Monk, how do you find these people? Well, he was a auxiliary member of the Christie crew. He I don't know how I first got his attention, but yeah, he decided he was going to hate on me. And he's okay. Remember, guys, if a woman says she's been raped, if she's watched Fox News, there's a chance she's lying about it. When you set this up, when you set it up as hashtag believe women and believe all women and what other nonsense. Remember yesterday was the women's parade, the women's march. Did you guys see that? Whole bunch of shit, whole bunch of women running around the country demanding their reproductive rights because keeping your legs closed isn't an option women have, nor is birth control. It is funny to me that I noticed this as I was reading stories about this today, that every one of them, they didn't say women were demanding their rights. They were demanding their reproductive rights. Because that's what you need. That women have no rights right now. We're knocking them up as we please and forcing them to have babies. They have no fucking rights. It's so fucking stupid. Like, guys, the only thing you're arguing for is abortion, which is your right to get out of responsibilities for your actions. And I know, what about rape and incest? None of you are actually talking about only limiting abortion to that. So stop it. And until you are talking about that, shut the fuck up. That is a facetious argument. Stop it. But what you're running around doing is like, I should be able to abort that thing that from the guy in the bar that I never bothered to get his name. I should be able to abort. You had that chick up at the Golden Globes. I won this because I had an abortion years ago and it let me concentrate on my career. Well, good for you. Good for you. I'm happy you were able to abdicate your responsibility and eventually win an award for fucking acting. Hey, Jack, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. A little bit annoyed because I have to be to do this show. If I'm not annoyed, this show is impossible to do.
I understand.
Yeah, I have to be upset about some shit. We're talking about the Women's March 2020, which happened yesterday. Women out there in the streets protesting because apparently men are forcing them to get pregnant all the time.
Kind of cold out for that crap, isn't it?
It is. It really, really is. But a whole bunch of women. It was funny because last year nobody paid attention to it, and the marches were kind of small. This year they got it back big, you guys. They had lots of pictures of it. Twitter was promoting the fuck out of it because women need their reproductive rights. I need my reproductive rights. Use a condom. No, I need to be able to suck that baby out with a vacuum. No, that's not reproductive rights. And stop pretending it is. See, I've mentioned this before. We can't have an honest discussion about abortion because a lot of people won't be honest about it. And what I mean by this is kind of what I mentioned a moment ago, like the rape and incest thing. Anytime you say I'm against abortion, what about rape and incest? Are you suggesting we limit it to only rape and incest? Well, of course not. Then shut up. That's not an argument you believe in. Stop it. Jack,
No,
how you been, man?
oh, life sucks, but you get by.
Fair enough.
How about yourself?
Oh, I'm sore as hell, man. I made the mistake of doing housework. And it wasn't that I did housework. I can do a little bit, but I did quite a bit. I did some bathroom stuff, and then I cleaned up the kitchen, bathroom stuff. That makes it sound like I took a big shit. That's not what I did, guys. I was cleaning in the bathroom and installed a new, what's it called?
Toilet?
No, it's like a rack to keep stuff in the bathtub. Well, in the shower.
Oh,
we have
like little shelving thing.
Yeah, we have very limited space in there, and it uses a tension bar, and so I got that all installed. Pushing up on a tension bar is probably what did it to me.
I understand that.
Yeah, so got that installed, and then I went up and I cleaned the kitchen floor, and I did the dishes and made dinner, and yeah, that's why there was no monkey in the morning yesterday. I was dead, man. But it's still, my fucking back is. I've described this before. I get what are they called? Muscle spasms.
Yeah.
And when they spaz, it feels like somebody's trying to peel the muscles from the bone.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not fun. But it's gotten to the point where I'm used to it now. This is the stuff that used to make me curl up on the floor and cry. So I feel like I've become a stronger man. Real quick, Wabbit Jack, thank you so much. Don't say at airports, hi, Jack. # fuck cancer. Indeed. All the way around.
True story.
Yeah, you can't yell hi to your friend Jack in the airport. You'll get, especially if you have a tan or are naturally that color.
And don't say it angrily either.
No.
Sarcasm doesn't go over well with the cops.
You use a rack in the shower. How does Lady Monkey feel about this? How does Lady Monkey's boobs feel about this? I haven't talked to him. I'll have to ask. But no, so yeah, I just overdid it a little bit yesterday, Jack. So I'll be fine. It just sucks for today. I spent all day in bed, man. Literally.
I figured I didn't see you online at all, so I figured you did something dumb.
Apparently, Irate Bear asked me yesterday sometime if I was going to do a monkey in the morning, and I didn't see it until I woke up at like 8 o'clock tonight. Like, I don't think so. I think I'll be skipping it. Anthrax was a great 80s band. I wasn't a big fan. I know a lot of people who love them, but they were the bomb. You're not in an airport, are you, Shio? You're going to get arrested. W.R. Costin says housework is evil. It is, but it's a necessary evil. Otherwise, even if you don't hoard, it's going to look like you did. Yeah, all through our lives together, the house has been clean, but especially with children, it gets cluttered really easy. Children bring clutter, you guys.
Oh, yeah, they're little trash magnets.
They really are. One of the things we used to do to keep them entertained, just buy a big ream of paper, and there you go, just go draw. And they love doing it. And then those fucking papers are everywhere. Oh, man.
Anthrax actually reminded me of something. On their album Sound of White Noise, which was probably their best album because they got John Bush in. But they had a song called Package Rebellion, and it really, really fits SJWs.
I don't know if you saw, but speaking of SJWs, Andy Quartz is back in my life.
Aw.
Yeah, he's come back to me like a moth to a flame, me being the bright shining flame, of course, and him being the fluttery gay butterfly.
No, he's a creepy stalker returning to this victim.
I miss those days, man, when SJWs were more open about their stupidity. Now you actually gotta go find it and be like, what did you just say, motherfucker? Yeah. But they're out there. We got the Women's March, you guys. Women's March, because Donald Trump is bad. He's been real bad to you women's out there. Women in the chat, give me a 1 if you've been forced to have a child since Donald Trump was elected. And give me a 2 if you're like, that's fucking retarded. I'm just curious. Because look, my reproductive rights work out fine. Nobody's forced me to have any kind of babies. I asked Lady Monkey if we could have one the other day. She told me no again. She keeps telling me no. I asked her, like, why not? And her answer was because with grandchildren, they go home. But with this, it would be ours and we'd have to take care of it. I'm like, okay, you might have a point there. Yeah, so we haven't seen a 1 yet. Guys, don't forget to support the stream by hitting the like button, sharing, and donating if you can, either to me or Jack. Links should be below, but for some reason, I don't know if I didn't look this time. When I set up the Lords of the Night stream tonight, I always put the description in there, but sometimes it doesn't transfer over to YouTube and I have to go back in and fix it. Yeah, lots of 2s. Yeah. I think it's a good sign that stupid is getting harder to find. No, Vortex, that's where you're wrong, because they're hiding it better. They're hiding it better. I did see a bill tonight we talked about on Lords of the Night. I forget who sent the story in, but there's a state somewhere that is considering a bill to make it illegal to give children puberty blockers or vaginoplasty. Is that what it's called?
Jesus.
Or a vasectomy.
Well, you know what? I have no problem with that. Kids should not be having those procedures done unless it's some sort of medical necessity, which is a vastly rare thing.
I tried thinking of that earlier. It's South Dakota. Thank you, Tom. Or Dom. God damn it. I've been fucking up people's names today, putting in the wrong starting letter. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Sorry, Dom. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Now, I'm trying to think of an example, because there's a 10-year penalty for this. 10 years in prison if a doctor prescribes puberty blockers or does the surgeries. Excuse me. And it's weird because one of the surgeries is vasectomy. I'm like,
why would you give your kid a vasectomy?
I'm like, I don't understand why that would even be a worry. But yeah, the vasectomy, vaginoplasty, or puberty blockers. And I'm with you. But I was trying to think, is there a disease where you would need puberty blockers? I'm trying to think of a medical thing where that's a necessity.
Maybe like that super aging thing.
Okay,
like
maybe.
The little kids age really fast. I forget what it's called. Begins with a P. I want to say Peoria, but that's a town
in Illinois. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it at all, but that is a very, very, very rare one.
Yeah, but it's like 3 a.m. So what do you want?
Kids shouldn't be going through any permanent changes that will mess them up, because if they realize they don't want to be trans later in life, it messes them up. Yeah, I don't believe that they should have this stuff until they're 18. Make your own choice at that point if you want to. Progeria?
Yeah, thank you guys. Dangerous and Miles nailed it.
Yeah, those kids look weird, man.
Yeah, if they need some sort of blockers or something like that, fine, give it to them, because that looks like a horrific disease.
Sure.
So I got no issue with exceptions for medical necessity like that. But the odds of that are so minuscule as to be almost statistically impossible.
And yeah, we're not talking about not helping kids. When you're talking about changing their body, and that's what a puberty blocker does.
Yeah.
Your body's supposed to go through puberty. It's actually the normal life cycle. And what Green Death said up there about, later in life, there's a lot of people who go through this and they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm not really trans. Or they actually go through the surgeries and the treatments and they're like, no, this isn't fixing my problem either. So I believe that look, get them all the mental health counseling in the world. That's fine. But don't block things that their body's naturally supposed to do.
Well, that's why I think a lot of this stuff is being pushed by pervs.
Yeah. Somebody asked us, Was it on Lords of the Night? Yeah, on Lords of the Night. Why this is always mothers. And my immediate reaction is that they really wanted daughters.
Yeah. Or my baby should never grow up.
But there's also these days there's a celebrity that comes with it. You have this little trans kid that, I mean, they're actually celebrating the youngest trans kid ever.
Ugh.
Like, and what was that kid? 3? That's what the fuck are you talking about? That 3-year-old isn't like, man, my dick feels weird. And if it is, it's because somebody's touching it who shouldn't be, which would explain a lot.
Yeah. Real quick over on the Streamlabs, thank you very much, Evolved Potato. I would like to request the infinite knowledge of the chat and the limited of the stream. Not wrong. Does anyone know how to fix Halo Wars 2, or is it an unplayable game?
I don't know. I'm not a Halo player, so. And I never played the Halo Wars either. I think I tried playing Halo once multiplayer with my sons, and they kicked the shit out of me so bad. I'm like, I'm going to pass.
Well, thank you for the donation, Evolved Potato. I don't know how to fix it. I only played the first one.
Yeah, that kind of stuff happens with games sometimes where they become a fuck. I still can't play Grand Theft Auto 4, and Steam finally pulled it from the store because nobody can figure out how to play the shit. They broke it so bad. That is a stupid thing to celebrate. That's like saying the youngest child has severe depression. Yeah, it's not even that. It's the kid, he put on a dress. He must be trans. Who is it? Desmond is Amazing. Is that the one? It's either him or the other one, Lactatia. I think maybe it's Lactatia. The mom told the story about how the cross-dressing started. And it is such a severe case of duh that I wanted to reach through the screen and smack the lady. This is how the child started being a cross-dresser. He put on his sister's dress one time, and mom made a huge deal over it. So he started doing it again.
Yeah, because he got parental attention. That's what little kids want, is parents to pay attention to them.
It was Desmond, they're telling me. Okay, Desmond.
Oh, thanks, Satsu.
I knew it was one of those two. But yeah, that's the story of how it started. His parents gave him attention finally.
It's sickening because that doesn't mean anything. Little kids play around. They try different things. They're curious. They don't know anything.
Yeah. And even worse than that, I mean, in this case, that is such a simple thing, man. Like, you made a big deal out of what your child did, and so they did it again and again and again. Most parents get annoyed because eventually it's like, yes, good drawing. But no, not this one. Not this one. Like, I'm going to take it out on the road. We're going to make this a road show.
Yeah,
fucking cunt.
It reminds me so much of Munchausen by proxy. Like, I'm going to get attention because of my kid. Oh, he's so special.
You hit the nail on the head. The only difference is in this case, we don't consider it a medical problem. Because Munchausen's, we like, oh, that's a mental disease. The parent needs some psychiatric help. Well, in this case, we put them on TV.
Because usually with Munchausen, they're hurting their kids in some way. Oh, you're the sickest you've ever been. You know, oh, you're still sick. But it's not much different from what they're doing now.
It's the same thing, though. They are hurting the children. It's just in a different way. This is mental torture.
Yeah, but the media doesn't see it that way.
Oh, no. They see it as, oh, look how open-minded mom is. Yeah, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Open mind doesn't mean an empty mind. And them just latching onto this shit. Look how brave and special they're being. No, you're fucking up this kid's mind. How dare you?
Yeah, I think this is pretty evil.
It really is. So the only part that causes me pause with that South Dakota law is there's still a part of me, Jack, that's like, well, if a doctor considers it medically necessary. But again, I'm trying to think of a way that I think that's just my American upbringing. We're not supposed to get involved with doctors fucking with people. It's their treatment. But then I don't hold that same thing with abortion. It's medically necessary. Prove it, motherfucker. Do you remember when they talked about that with abortion? Like, fine, we'll make it. We'll be happy to go along, but if you say it's medically necessary, you're going to have to show us. They're like, oh, you can't see the patient's records. Like, I feel like that would be. Nobody was asking for names. You just have to show us the records. Like, no, that's violating doctor-patient privilege. It's really not.
It's a bunch of bullshit. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Cult of Krill, who said, repeal the 19th. Thank you for the donation.
Amend the 19th, but again, even that wouldn't fix this. As I've said before, I blame women for the problems in society, but it's men's fault. There are way too many men willing to go along with this shit. Fuck, how many men are out there like, I'm glad she had an abortion. That way I ain't got to raise a kid I don't want. And thank you, Becca, for dropping Streamlabs links. That is very kind of you. We have the best audience in the world.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A little while ago, I saw Alyssa say, streaming again? Actually, yesterday I kind of took a day off. And I feel like I haven't streamed in forever, even though I streamed just earlier tonight. One of the reasons I think terminating a pregnancy is medically necessary is in the case of ectopic pregnancies, just saying. Yeah. And at that point, I mean, most people are like, yeah, that's life of the mother. And there's no way to really save that baby. There is the very rare operation where they've been able to pull it out and insert it into the uterus. But for the most part, yes, that is a medically necessary reason to do it. And it's not the reason it's normally done. That's the one. I've always said this. Argue what you actually believe. So if you believe, medically necessary, okay, fine. And then give examples of what a medically necessary one would be. But I've had the abortion argument with so many people, and so many people are like, just because, which is what most people want.
It's because it's convenient for them. It's not about medical necessity. It's medical necessity because they want it to be.
Well, look at that lady again on the Golden Globes just the other day. I'm able to have this award because I aborted my child, and that allowed me to concentrate on my career.
Oh, so you're willing to kill people to get ahead. Good to know.
Aren't you just the most special motherfucker that's ever hit this planet?
Both stunning and
brave. And I frankly hope you end up living under an underpass. I really do.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Look, I'm all for if you want to strangle a hobo. I don't really care. They're not people. But babies didn't do nothing.
I can't imagine thinking that's a point of pride. Saying that out loud.
Yeah. Oh, Becca nailed it. I killed my baby for this golden idol.
Yeah, basically.
They should make them in the shape of calves. Get real biblical with it.
Alyssa says, like, you want me to say okay and that it is okay? Nah. Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you argue with an abortion supporter, which they don't like that word either. I do not support abortion. Yeah, you do. Stop it. I am not pro-abortion. Yeah, you are. Stop it. In those instances, you're pro-abortion. But if you argue with them, they'll always come back to rape and incest, of course, and medical, the life of the mother. It's like, all right, we'll give examples of life of the mother. And if those are what you want to limit it to, fine. But if you're for open abortion, then stop using those examples. And I'm not saying you, Alyssa, I'm talking about abortion supporters. Stop pretending that that's what you care about, because you don't. If you're for anytime abortion, then just say you're for anytime abortion. Stop pretending that what you care about is the life of the mother. Because I would agree with you in ectopic pregnancy. I would absolutely You're going to kill somebody if you let that go. But just a regular having an abortion so that maybe later in life you can win a Golden Globe. Go fuck yourself, lady. That lady, she should have been fucking shamed for what she said up there.
Oh, no, the Hollywood degenerates are all about it. Whether it's diddling kids or murdering children for awards, I don't care. It's time we stop dressing it up, you know? These people have no moral compunction whatsoever.
Eagle says about 99% of abortions would stop if it's a medical necessity. The numbers for abortion, I think the last numbers we have was there 400,000 for, I want to say 2016. We should be getting the 2017 numbers soon. Excuse me. And that's down drastically from the 90s when it got up to over a million abortions a year, you guys. 1 million. Now, either that's a whole lot of rape and incest, or that's a whole lot of women going, yeah, just suck it out. I need to get back to the club. People get mad when you talk about it like that, Jack, especially anyone who's had an abortion. That's another thing. If you talk to somebody who's had an abortion and you don't know they've had an abortion yet, if you start talking about abortion, they'll go, is that how you really feel? Like, yeah. And then they'll go, well, I had an abortion. Like, well, I still feel the same way. You having an abortion doesn't change how I feel about it.
I like to say things like, oh, good for you, killer. I worked with a guy that accidentally killed somebody with a forklift, and everybody called him killer after that, and I may have started that.
Oof. I do know people who had an abortion and then couldn't have kids.
Yeah.
And they desperately want kids. And like, well,
you closed that window. Sometimes they don't open again.
Yep. And
I don't like discussing abortion with people in, at social gatherings if I don't know them, because people get really, really heated about it, whether it's because they had an abortion, which is usually the case, or they are super religious, and then they're going to tell you about Jesus, and you're going to be there for an hour, or, they just get really passionate about it in general. And I don't have to have an abortion, but I'm opposed to it on the grounds of, I don't think that you should be killing children unless you absolutely have some kind of crazy medical problem or, rape, incest.
Hey, Sin, how you doing, man? I hope you had a good night out with the lady. He says, did you guys make any progress in Dark Souls? We made it through the catacombs and got to the first fire in the Giants area. But over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much, Cult of Krill, who says the most infuriating thing about the abortion debate is too many people say it's just a clump of cells. Dumbass, literally every non-single-celled organism is just a clump of cells, including you, dipshit. True story. You are just a clump of cells. And by their rationale, murdering you should be no big deal. Oh, that was just a clump of cells.
The last time I was at a cocktail party, which I don't get invited to because of things like this, a lady was telling me about her abortion, and it was a lefty party, so I was one of the only rational people in the room. So I kept an eye on the exits at all times. And she was telling me about her abortion. I don't remember how we got on the topic. And I was like, oh, so you're a white supremacist.
Huh.
And she said, what? And I was like, well, most of the people that get abortions are black. So your pro-abortion stance strikes me as supporting the white supremacist narrative.
Oh.
It took about 10 minutes for me to get asked to leave after that. So. And that was after I made the joke about being 500 feet away from a school.
Nice. Fuck. Yeah, that was the stat that really blew my mind, because I've been following this for a long time. But what was it? Was it 2018? Yeah, I think it was 2018, where more black children were aborted than born in New York City that year.
Oh, I believe it.
More were aborted than born.
Well, you got to remember that Margaret Sanger didn't like black people.
Oh, yeah, no. people they actually try to excuse that, Jack. Like, no, she wasn't really racist. Well, I mean, she was racist, but that's not why she was for killing black babies. Like, what? What the fuck? She was a eugenicist who believed that blacks were inferior.
Yeah, she was straight up eugenicist. If you read her books like Pivot of Civilization, she's very open about some of the goals, and that's the problem is people don't know the history of Planned Parenthood and why this was founded. She was a big advocate of birth control, but she also didn't like the dark-skinned people.
No, not at all. And yeah, Margaret Sanger was an inspiration to Mr. Adolf.
Yeah, she kind of was.
Yeah. And don't forget, I mean, Planned Parenthood was specifically put in black neighborhoods. Check it out. It's true.
Yeah, you don't have to believe us. Go read her books.
Yeah. But it is amazing how these people will excuse her. Like, no, it's okay. She was just trying to kill all the black people. Don't worry about that. That doesn't make her racist because she was pro-abortion, you guys. Ugh. It's amazing what they will rationalize.
Also, for the record, if you guys didn't know this, be aware if you're talking to somebody about abortion, it's not in vogue to say that people that get abortions are fetishists for coat hangers and vacuum cleaners. They do get upset about that, and they will get all huffy with you.
They get mad when I call it unfucking, or I do make the vacuum cleaner joke a lot. I call it hoovering.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to sugarcoat that bullshit. Look, it is what it is. And right now in our society, this is something we approve of as a society.
Which is pretty fucked up. If you're approving of slaughtering the unborn, that seems like a very counterintuitive way of, of being a good civilization.
Anyhow, this wasn't supposed to be an abortion thing. Actually, well, maybe it's kind of a fitting because it started out with me talking about Danny.
Oh yeah, well, some people survive those things.
Some people. I feel like there might have been a coat hanger involved there.
Maybe he merged with the coat hanger, like sometimes the twins, one of them will eat the other one genetically.
I feel like it was more like when you just get winged, somebody gets shot and it's just they just winged them. So it's just a little scrape. I feel like it just didn't go all the way through.
It just nudged the soft spot on the top of the head.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure that dude's retarded.
I'm fairly certain he is. But I just enjoy that he decided to pop up out of nowhere today. He's on a brand new account, Jack.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think he's trying to clean his record because he should be getting out of college. I can't believe I just said that. He should be getting out of college, and I think he's probably cleaning up the internet so that that prospective employers don't find out what a cunt he is.
How old is this kid? Isn't he like 30?
I don't know.
He looks really old.
Well, I mean, he's got that Downsy look, so that can account for a little bit of that.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, we had the Women's March. What else happened today? I know there was something else. Wasn't there? Hang on a second. Oh yeah. Chucky Schumer wrote a letter way back in 90, when Clinton was being impeached, which is resurfaced. And it's amazing how much of a hypocrite it makes him look. Now, I want to be fair here because both sides of the aisle right now, if you go back to 2019 and look at the impeachment of Bill Clinton, their arguments have pretty much just switched sides. The only difference is with Clinton's impeachment, there was an actual crime there, one you could point to and go, this was a crime. You could still say, look, I don't believe he should be impeached for it, but yeah, that was a crime. But otherwise, yeah, there were a lot of Republicans who were like, yes, we need to impeach him for being a horrible person. And the Democrats were, oh, we should never impeach a president. It's bad for the country. And the Schumer letter is a great example of this. I'm not going to read it all because it's one, Chuck Schumer, and two, it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was from 99, apparently. The New York Post posted it today. I'm throwing it in the chat if you guys would like to read it. But they highlighted a few parts, like this one. If you'd asked me 1 year ago if people like this with such obvious political motives could use our courts, play the media, and tantalize the legislative branch to achieve their ends of bringing down the president, I would have said not a chance. That doesn't happen in America. Well, Chucky boy. Well, Chucky boy. And I know that a lot of Democrats really, really hate the president because, of course, they do. But I don't think they really hate Trump. I got to be honest with you. I don't think they hate Trump. I think they hate a Republican president. I think a lot of them, because Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and a lot of the people involved here were in Congress back then. And I think part of this is retaliation. But I really do think it doesn't matter who was president or what they did. This stuff would have still been happening. That it has nothing to do with it being Donald Trump or anything Donald Trump may have done. They just hate him because he's a Republican president. And I say this because, well, I paid attention. These are the same assholes who, Jack, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've actually like complimented Jeb Bush. Like, Jeb Bush should have been president. You don't mean that.
No, no one wanted that.
You don't really mean that. I've even seen one be like, at least with Ted Cruz, you knew where he stood. I don't really agree with him, but he's kind of a stand-up guy. I'm like, oh, wow. If you're a Democrat, you should prefer Trump over Ted Cruz every day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not slamming Ted Cruz here. I'm not his biggest fan, but I don't hate the man. But he is staunchly conservative. But Trump is the biggest problem, and it is because beating Hillary, man. Beating Hillary was gonna cause anybody problems. We all have a little Jeb in us. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Please
Jeb,
clap.
What a horrible candidate he turned out to be. I mean, his brother might. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, he's just unlikable.
His brother may have tripped over words like I just did, but at least he seemed homesy and like a decent guy. Whether you agree with that after the elections or not, Jeb was just like, who let the potato on the stage? I mean, literally,
he was like this goofy kind of weird dude.
If you don't get that reference, that isn't my problem. I don't care about your reference. I said, how dare you, sir? I'm allowed to make my own references, aren't I?
I don't know. I feel
like I am. But nobody else could have ever stood up to the Dems the way Trump has. My theory at the beginning, and I still hold this mostly, is that the biggest problem with Trump, besides beating Hillary, is that he was supposed to go away. Snubber, thank you. Jeb is a meme on EFAP. Subscribe to Mahler and Rags. Shill over. The hell is EFAP?
I don't know, but I imagine it's something to do with masturbation.
Somebody asked about that on the Lords of the Night stream. I don't know what EFAP is. But anyway, going back to when Donald Trump announced his presidency, that was when he said the Mexicans were bad people. EFAP is an acronym for every frame a pause. Okay. I'm not down with all the kids' words these days.
Apparently, it's a voluntary program that offers free confidential counseling services. Oh, this is something else.
But Donald Trump was never supposed to survive that first media backlash. Because the media came after him hard. Look at how racist Donald Trump is.
Oh, yeah. He was treated like a complete joke.
Yeah. And for a moment, the Trump campaign got very, very quiet. And then the was it Julia Stiles? No, it's not Julia Stiles. That's
the actress.
Yeah, the chick who got shot in San Francisco. I forget her name. The illegal shot her. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
That revived his campaign, and he survived the way that they Steinle. Thank you so much, Cult of Krill. He survived the media assassination, and that's never supposed to happen. That is their biggest weapon against people. And Donald Trump was the first one to really survive that. And I think that upset them greatly. I think that upset them more than they want to admit, because he was supposed to be canceled, you guys. Cancel culture has been around a lot longer than the term cancel culture. And Donald Trump survived that. And he went on to anytime they tried to pull that shit, he just came out and went, fuck you. And still got support. And there is nothing scarier to a liberal. I said this at the time. Republicans would be smart to pay attention to Donald Trump. Stop being so afraid of the media. Stop being so afraid of being labeled something, and start fighting back. And that's what Trump did. And I think that is the scariest thing Democrats have seen in a long, long time, because it worked. He didn't have to worry about them. And them coming after him like that meant shit. It meant jack shit. So I think that, and then you combine that with the fact he beat Hillary when he was supposed to lose. Was it 98%, 96%, something like that, the New York Times, the day of the election?
Yeah.
And there's few greater things that I've watched in my life than the TYT slowly counting down as that move towards Trump.
That brings me joy every time I see it.
It was beautiful. And now it's down to 65%. Yeah, it was so great. But yeah, I don't think Democrats like him for that. And I think if Republicans paid attention, and that's why meme culture bothers them so much, because people are laughing at stuff they're not supposed to laugh at anymore. Laughing at this, we got rid of this kind of shit. You're not supposed to be allowed to say things like this anymore. And look at them all just laughing. And that's why every time they see it, it's like, that's sexist and racist. Like, it doesn't say anything about sex or race. Shut up. It's sexist and racist. It's just how it is these days, man. Trump is not afraid of losing, and it scares the Dems. I don't know about not being afraid of losing. I think Trump doesn't care what they say about him, and that's different. And that scares the shit out of them, because that's how they control things, man. That's how. If you control people to the point where they are afraid to speak, you won, man. But get them out there and have them willing to call you an asshole because you just called them a racist or something like that, and see what happens. Everyone who's ever faced that charge over stupid shit is going to come out and support them.
Which is more and more people every day.
Yeah. Cancel culture is not working like it did.
No, because they've used it too often. They overplayed their hand.
They used it in a way they were trying to control what everyone said, and everyone was like, yeah, look at what happened to Trump. That worked out fine. Now, there was another story I wanted to talk about, Jack. I read it earlier, so now I got to go find what the hell I read earlier. Nope, it's not that. It's not that. I wish I remembered it a second ago, and then I forgot completely. Not that one. Nope. That's during the show. I don't think I was reading during the show. Oh, we should check on this one, Jack. I think you might enjoy that one. So hang on. Let's get past that. Let's do this one real fast while I have one. 5 words you didn't realize were supporting the patriarchy.
Oh, God.
These ones are great, Jack. It's not your normal list of these things. You'll understand in a minute. If you guys heard this on Lords of the Night, you'll be fine. Believe it or not, the patriarchy affects everyone, no matter your gender or sexuality. If you're human, you've been impacted by the patriarchy in one way or another. With this effect comes the use of certain words in daily vernacular. I'd like to take a moment and remove these words from common language, or common usage, and put them in the garbage where they belong. All right, you ready?
No, but okay.
Number 1, plugs instead of tampons.
What?
Yeah.
You're going to plug up your love tunnel, honey?
Now, I have used that, I've used it jokingly, but I've heard most of the time I hear this used, it's actually women who say it. But it's never seriously. It's usually a joke. Here's what dipshit had to say. Having a period is annoying enough. Wait, hang on. I gotta check. Hang on. I don't think this is actually a woman. I think this is a dude dressed as a woman. It's hard to see. I'm trying to. Okay, let me see if I can find a big picture of this idiot. Whoops. The name is Brianna Bennett. And just judging by the little tiny picture they have here, which I'd put on the screen, but I don't think you guys could see it very well. I'm pretty sure it's a dude, man. Nope, not that picture. This one. Okay, now you tell me. Is this a man or a woman? Give me a 1 for man, 2 for woman. Originally. I don't care what you think about, trans. Born, man or woman? This one right here.
Is reptilian an option?
It could be. I just feel like that's a dude. Now, I bring that up because it is. There's a whole bunch of ones in chat right now.
Yeah, that's a really mannish jawline.
That is a manly looking chick. But the reason I bring that up is because this first one is kind of interesting. Having a period is annoying enough without implying that a woman's genitals are synonymous with a drain. That is exactly what you're doing each time you refer to a tampon as a plug. If this one wasn't born a woman, if it's not biologically female, never experienced a period. Now, I've seen what my wife goes through. It doesn't look pleasant, but I couldn't say a period is annoying. The only time a period has been annoying to me is like, no, we can't have sex now. And it's like, oh, well, maybe next week. In my mind, the term plug dehumanizes the female experience and creates the perception that we are nothing more than receptacles for a man's sperm.
What?
Well, the next line is, I'm sorry, what? That's what they said. They finish off with, aside from the women of the world that don't want to have children, there are women who can't or severely struggle with conception. Saying that this is a natural part of the female existence is just a way for the patriarchy to demean women, and I'm over it. Now, I don't know what that last part had to do with the first part. I really don't.
The word is crazy.
I think it's just I think it's a dude. Next up is panties instead of underwear. Saying panties is part of the patriarchy. Now, I want you to remember the fact, Jack, that I think this is a man. Okay, as we read this. This word is cringeworthy on its own, but with the added element of the patriarchy, it sounds even worse. In the UK, pants were actually referred to underpants, and I suppose panties were a way to feminize the term. I don't know for sure, but I don't like it. It, period, is, period, underwear, period. Here it comes. Panties sounds like pansies, and don't even get me started on that toxic masculinity with the word. Panties sounds like pansies.
This person's a nut. You got a super chat.
Frank, thank you so much. One, monkey, according to the feminists that were yelling at me on Twitter last night, trans women are female. Stop being transphobic. Do better. You can tell them I said to kiss my ass. Even if I want to grant that trans women are women, I'm not going to grant that they are biologically women because they're not.
No,
And I know you were just, you weren't yelling at me, but that's what you can tell them. Oh, you ready for this next one, Jack?
no, because we need to address the fact that this person's a lunatic making weird word association. Okay.
Well, I feel like there's some underlying issues here with our female writer that they're so worried about the word pansy.
Yeah, if it was a trans person, I could see them having some sort of sore spot for that. But
Yeah.
even then, the word panties is not demeaning in any way. It's like saying the word chair offends me because it's a half sofa.
Jack, that's being so phobic.
Something. That's fucking dumb, man.
I'll wait for number 3. Titties instead of breasts. And this one, Jack, is amazing for the story that's told.
Oh, no.
Titties instead of breasts. When I was in my obligatory middle school sexual education class, our teacher asked a group of 12 to 13-year-olds what breasts were for. After everyone was done giggling, someone behind me said, "They're for men to play with."
Somebody's dad helped them do their homework.
Incensed, I immediately raised my hand and gave the correct answer, tossing a dirty look over my shoulder. Granted, a comment made by a middle schooler is not something that anyone should take seriously, but he had to learn that from somewhere, didn't he? Now, I want to ask you a question there, Jack.
Sure.
You heard the story, right?
Yep.
Did you hear the word titties in there anywhere?
Nope. Not once.
Yeah. Next up, anything other than sex worker. The thing that people don't understand is that sex work is a job. It may not be a conventional job, but you earn an agreed upon wage for services tendered. It's rendered, actually, idiot. Who cares if the services were of a sexual nature? Sex is as normal as blinking or breathing, and I'm so tired of the rampant stigmatization of this career choice.
Hard. Suck it up, Nancy.
A hooker is a specific thing. A hooker and a porn actress are not in the same business. Those are different things.
Yeah.
A hooker will fuck anybody for money. A porn actress will fuck porn actors or other porn actresses for money. They're different things. Just saying sex worker is too vague, you fucking moron. There's a reason we use those up. Now, you might like it when somebody, she's a hoe. I don't care. Shut up. And finally, Jack, doesn't it seem like this has been more than 5?
It seems like it's been 20 enraging minutes.
Meninism in place of misogyny. Dun, dun, dun.
That one's a made-up word.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to. Let me read the reasoning, then we'll get into what meninism actually is. The stupid and mildly insulting male empowerment movement. By the way, male empowerment's in quotes there. Male empowerment movement that, instead of teaming with feminists to establish equality for all, just gives men an excuse to host, quote, "make women great again" events. It does this by showing a gross misunderstanding of what it means to be a feminist. They hear a term that they don't like and automatically have to come up with some sort of competitor for said word. Men can want equality too. They just have to realize that life is not all about winning and losing. So in layman's terms, they have to be more mature than the middle schooler in my earlier anecdote. Before we dig into this, I have a few donations here. Let me get to these real fast. Thank you, tall person. It says, "Happy National Sanctity of Human Life Day, everybody. I'm glad you were all born." Thank you, sir. And yes, so am I. I'm very happy everybody was born. Mike Downey, thank you so much. Something tells me that the author only gets it from the sex workers, possibly. An editor, thank you so much for the donation with no message. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much, because I am brought to you by you, and I do appreciate it. So, um, Meninism, for those of you who don't know, is a joke. And I don't mean that in the way like, oh, fuck that. That's a joke. I mean, it was made as a joke.
Yeah, wasn't that 4chan?
I don't remember if it was exactly 4chan, but it was something like that. It was people like, oh, feminism, meninism, haha. It was literally satire. Yeah, Vortex. It was literally satire.
Well, they
And
don't understand the difference. Therefore, you must destroy that. It's just like they don't get comedy.
They don't. They don't. And it's this person is upset. You may not understand Meninism is part of the patriarchy, you guys.
Because it's not real, just like the concept of the patriarchy in the modern era.
But this is the same person who's upset about titties, even though the story they use to explain why they're upset about it doesn't include the word at all.
I really want to tweet this person and ask them their thoughts on fun bags or dirty pillows.
Well, again, if anybody would like to do that, their name is Brianna Bennett. And you want to know about Brianna? Brianna is a writer, student of life, moderator, tea and coffee aficionado, and action plan maker.
Action plan. That sounds made up. Oh, over on the Streamlabs, thank you, tall person. I didn't forget you, Jack. Happy National Gun Appreciation Day, everybody. Damn right. Play with your guns in a responsible manner.
Now, at the top of this, it tells us it's written by Brianna. At the bottom, it gives two credits. Yeah, Brianna and then Fearless, she wrote, who says, "This is a space to empower differences, tell our stories, and share our lives together. We will not be silenced. We will be fearless, and we will write." This is a part of Medium.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
It is a part of Medium that usually you can see what a different offshoot is, but I can't see this one. Fearless, she wrote, I think is what it is. Fearless, she wrote, which covers feminism, relationships, sexuality, women, self, poetry, and you can submit. I think submit is actually, I bet I could make up a fake bullshit story.
Of course you could.
And get them to publish it. Why my man calling me monkey is degrading. Oh, God.
Look, I think from my experience, the people that call it sex work or something equivalent, they come up with these cutesy names for being a whore. They're usually people that have done it in the past or are doing it now. And it's some sort of self-justification thing, just like with abortion. They need to, they feel morally twisted about it, so they got to find a way to justify it. And that's how they do it.
There's an article on here, how I consciously manipulate the male gaze as a sex worker. Really?
See?
That seems like it was a no-brainer. I want to see the feminism articles. That was part of it. Go ahead, touch my body, no permission required. A poem. Oh, God, I got to see this one.
Oh, God. Should I snap?
Wait, I don't want to sign in. Leave me alone. Go ahead, touch my body. No permission required. It doesn't belong to me. You hold the title to my anatomy. I am a female form, faceless, storyless, motherless, an empty husk for you to do with as you please. I hand you the keys. Attention, all men in the vicinity. Go ahead, touch my body. Prick me with your pin while you grin. Threaten me, scare me, stare at me with those cold, vacant eyes, creating a void as empty as you are while my inside dies. Wow.
You can't hear my jazz hands, but they're going.
Wow. That's so bad.
That's something you read before a gangbang.
Jesus Christ. Why aren't women's health concerns taken seriously? Let me ask you guys this. Who has a longer health span or lifespan, men or women? I'll give you a hint. It's not men. But women's health concerns, they're not taken seriously. You guys are such fucking idiots. You know what? Almost every time I hear women's health concerns aren't taken seriously, it's some bitch who is quite obviously, what's the word? Hypochondriac.
Yeah.
Who gets all the cancer research money? No doubt, right, Faithless? You know, one of the biggest arguments I ever got when I wrote my blog was about breast cancer. And women get mad if you talk about breast cancer, man. I simply pointed out that it's weird to me how much money is spent on breast cancer when breast cancer's not the leading killer of women, which, by the way, is absolutely true. Heart disease is the leading killer of women, the same as it is with men. And I was just pointing out that, you know, there's other things and you never hear about them. And like, how dare you? I knew somebody with breast cancer. Like, sure you did. My favorite, my mom is a breast cancer survivor or something like that. I'm like, yeah. How many people you know who are heart disease survivors? Let me give you a hint. It doesn't last. Once the heart goes, you stop.
Yeah.
They can't cut out your heart. I mean, there've been a few things where people get artificial hearts, but it's not a very normal thing.
And it's very expensive, so most people can't get them. Same with heart transplants. Yeah,
generally you just die. And I'm not bringing that up to, you know, make people feel bad or sad or any shit like that. It's just, it's a matter of fact. And it is weird to me that we spend so much money on one and ignore everything else.
Yep. Like Mike Downey just pointed out, when do we get a walk for ball cancer? And what's the color of the ribbon?
I feel like it should be just a slightly darker shade of pink. Just a little bit.
It have a little sperm drawn on it.
Yes. Should have little white spermies on there.
Dane just pointed out the type of women who get heart disease are considered healthy at any size.
That is true too. I'm not saying we shouldn't fund breast cancer research. I'm not saying that it's wrong to talk about it, but like, it's to raise breast cancer awareness. Everybody's aware of breast cancer. How many people are aware that heart disease is the leading killer of all of us?
Yeah.
Women, men, black, white, all of us. Heart disease is the leading killer in America. And it just seems to me that we'd probably be better off telling people, you know, to stop eating unhealthy than to spend so much time harping on breast cancer. But I get it. It's a woman's issue. So even though we have an audience member who got breast cancer who's a dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice guy too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, ball cancer equals light blue ribbon.
For blue balls, like somebody said in the chat.
Now, I'm wondering if that's true because they do have ribbons for everything.
Well, eventually you're going to run out of rainbow colors. So
there's even a rainbow ribbon, if I remember correctly.
For the gays?
I don't remember what it was. Breast cancer charities do very little to help male breast cancer patients. Well, yeah, because it's all about the women. There's a reason breast cancer became their drum to beat. Because for the most part, it is something that affects women. And you have to do everything to bow to the women's. I'm tired of bowing to women, man. The only woman I bow to, well, okay, there's 4 or 5 now. My wife, my daughter, and my grandchildren. Those are the women that are important to me in life. I love a lot of you, don't get me wrong. But you know what I realized, Jack? And I wasn't proud of it either. I realized that if Little Bus said, "Hey, Grandpa, go kill that guy," I would go, "All right." I wouldn't even ask. I'd just be like, "All right." She has a little too much control over me.
A little bit.
This is the point. Look, I love if you guys know me at all, I am such a protector of my daughter, and that is my little girl, has been since she was born. I love my boys. I love all of my children. It's just I love my daughter in a different way. My boys are big and strong and can take care of themselves. And even though I know my daughter is strong and can take care of herself, I'm like, she shouldn't have to. I'm her dad. I'm supposed to take care of her. And then
misogyny.
Then her daughter comes along and is like, okay, I'm going to take the little one's side. I side with my daughter all the time, but now there's the little one. I'm like, I'm kind of on her side. Sorry.
It's just misogyny.
It is. I just can't help it. I just want them to have the best of the world. You know what I mean? You benevolent sexist. I know. People are like, boys and girls are the same. No, they're not. And it's the same like with the whole sex thing. Like my daughter, in my mind, my granddaughters from my daughter were both conceived when she sat on a toilet seat. He had been in there doing his business and didn't clean up right. She sat down and we had 2 beautiful babies from it. My other granddaughter, I'm like, my boy tapped that ass. And yeah, I know we're not supposed to feel that way. We're supposed to treat them all the same. But no, I mean, my boys are supposed to go out there and multiply. My girl, like, you ain't supposed to touch that ever, son. I don't care if you're married now. The stork. No, I wasn't in the room, but I was at the hospital when the one was born. So I know different, but I still say she sat on a toilet seat. Gender doesn't matter. So how come I've never been asked for a pap smear? You must not live in Canada. Wasn't it Canada where they had the problem like trans women are not being asked to have pap smears and it's causing a problem?
Yeah, well, Canada's fucking stupid. So no offense, Canadians, but your government's retarded.
Backscan says, I hope you aren't sharing that theory with them. My children know, yeah, they've heard all of this. I don't lie to my children. I mean, I lied to my children, but not about things like that. I'm mostly open with them. There's only a few things I'm not honest with them about. Like if one of them go, where was I conceived? I wouldn't go, I don't fucking know. We fucked all the time back then.
Why would your kids ask you that? That's weird.
I'm not saying they would. My children wouldn't ask me that because they know I'd probably give them an answer, even though I don't know because we did fuck all the time back then. I do know my best friend. He actually knows exactly when one of his kids was conceived.
Oh, wow. That he needs to have more sex.
Well, him and his wife at the time, I don't remember why they hadn't, but they had gone on an anniversary trip and they fucked like mad during that. And yeah, 9 months later, they had a baby. Like,
wow.
Wonder how that happened.
I'm supposed to ask you something. What caliber greeted your daughter's dates?
I don't have a gun. And Lady Monkey made me be nice. It's like, you better be nice. I'm like, actually, I like my son-in-law very much. He's a very good guy. And he is such a, what's the word? Doting? Is that the word? Doting father and husband. He is a good guy. The only thing I've told him before, you need to stand up to her because I told you guys before, and I've said this to my daughter. My daughter's kind of a bitch, and I raised her that way. I didn't want her to be a pushover, but she's also maybe takes it a little too far sometimes. So he's learning to fight back, and it's cool to watch their relationship develop and stuff. But yeah, she's hard to, she's what's the word? High maintenance woman kind of thing. That's okay. He's got daughters. He'll understand it soon. He's got 2 daughters, man. I only have the 1 daughter, and that's hard. I know people with like 3 and 4 daughters. I'm like, dude, how'd you do that? Sons will drive you insane because boys do stupid shit all the time. I did it. My sons have done it. My wife actually, my son was sitting in the middle of the floor one day, and he was holding a shoe. He was like 1 or 2 years old. And he grabs the shoe and he just starts slapping himself in the face with it. He's got both hands and he's just slapping himself in the forehead with it. And my wife looked at me and she goes, is there something wrong with him? I'm like, unfortunately, no. He's just a little boy. We get dumb ideas and we do it, and then we have to learn that hurts, and then we don't do it anymore. Yeah, boys will drive you nuts doing just stupid shit, where girls will break your heart. Girls are mean. Anyway, then you should put her in her place a little bit. I have, Eagle. I really have. Like, you need to calm down, be nice to him. Sounds like something I'd do as a kid. When I was little, I used to go out and bang my head on the sidewalk. I don't know why I did it. I just used to do it. It was entertaining to me. And then I heard Mom talking about it, and I realized somebody was watching me as I do it, and I don't think I did it again. I have a very hard head, you guys. Oklahoma teacher accused of having threesome with a student and another woman.
Class act.
Yeah, you want to see our pedophile of the day? This is the latest one, you guys, who can't keep her hands off little boys for some reason. Doesn't she look like a treat?
What the hell, man?
Yeah. We need to do something about women touching little boys, because it's becoming a huge problem. A high school teacher in Oklahoma was arrested for allegedly having a threesome in her home with a student and a former teacher in the district. Did you catch that last part, Jack? A former teacher. Joyce Churchwell, a volleyball coach at Berry Hill High School in Tulsa, connected with the teen via Snapchat and invited him over to her home last school year, according to the news. The student, quote, admitted that this encounter had taken place at the teacher's home along with another adult female, a former teacher at the district. That's a direct quote from the county sheriff's spokeswoman. Churchill turned herself in Tuesday after authorities issued an arrest warrant. Authorities believe there may be more victims. Amid the investigation, they discovered Churchwell had messaged other students who didn't comply. Churchwell has been placed on a leave of absence.
What the fuck, man?
Well, this woman took it to a whole new level. She's like, let's bring in another teacher. They didn't say whether the other teacher got in trouble. Former teacher.
It's like they're networking now.
Former teacher, how old was she? Asked Caramon. It doesn't say. This is the. I wonder. Let's see if we can find another story that talks about that chick. Let's see what we can find. Old Miss Joyce Churchwell. Joyce herself is 40. Wow, I didn't even. For 40, she doesn't look bad.
She doesn't look great, but I've seen worse.
When I saw her, I thought, 35, rough life. Probably been drinking before the picture was taken.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did Churchill was once accused in a federal lawsuit of minimizing bullying. Wow. The school district lists Churchwell as its volleyball coach and algebra teacher. Churchwell's husband recently suffered a devastating stroke.
Real quick, thank you, Mike D. donated on the Streamlabs. Thanks. YouTube hates Monk's name. Racist bastards.
That's
Damn
true.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah, back in 2017, this guy had a major stroke to where they had to shave his head and basically cut from the front of his hairline all the way down to his ear.
Jesus.
Yeah, I can't show that picture on Twitter, on YouTube, because you know how they are. But I'll throw the picture into chat. You're going to want to scroll down to number 3, because this is a list of things about her, apparently. 5 facts you need to know. Multiple education workers in the United States have ended up in trouble with the law. Well, that's not really about her. Come on.
No.
I want to know, who was the other chick? Does it say? The student is 18 now. Churchwell sent him nude photos and videos, and in mid 2019, while her husband was out of town, she messaged the student and he went to his home where they had sex.
It sounds like they met on one of those like Tinder apps.
School staff told authorities they'd heard rumors that Churchwell and a former employee had engaged in a threesome sexual act with another student. The former employee was not charged. I'm betting that Oklahoma has it's Oklahoma. So what? 14? What's the age of consent in Oklahoma? She's probably in trouble because she is a teacher, and the other's not because she's not a teacher.
Yeah. How old's that kid? 18?
He's 18 now, so I don't know whether he was 18 or 17 at the time.
He might have lied about his age, but she knew him, and they hooked up on some website, and they just went for it. And I bet the other person didn't know it was a student.
Oh, even if the other person knew it was a student, they're a former teacher, so there's no law against it as long as the age of consent is.
Yeah.
16 in Oklahoma. Yeah, so it was fine to have sex with him, just not as his teacher. Oh, man. What is it with these ladies, man? Stop touching children. I feel like that shouldn't be something we have to say.
You would think so, but apparently women have more of a problem restraining themselves than men do.
It's getting to be an issue. It is getting to be an issue. And unfortunately, we don't treat them the same. We unfortunately almost treat the women teachers like they're heroes. What else is going on here? I read that one. There's another story, Jack. I'm telling you, I had a story that I wanted to talk about, and I remembered it for half a second, and I can't remember. I'm telling you guys this, even though it doesn't matter. Oh, here it is. Oh, this dirty fucking article, Jack. Oh my God. I'm going to throw it into chat for those of you who want to read it. I'm going to probably read the whole thing. So you know what's going on in Virginia, right? In Virginia, they're passing some pretty stringent gun laws, which basically include confiscation as well. Last I heard, they'd put in a grandfather clause for those of you who already own guns out there. But it had the last one I saw only had a 6-month grandfather clause, and I've heard that it's been up to a year now. But basically, even if you're grandfathered in, you can't transport the gun anywhere. So let's say you move to a new house and you own this other gun, this gun that's been banned. You can't move that gun. It's illegal to do so. You're not allowed to travel with it at all. But they're going to allow you to keep it for a year and find a way to get rid of it because they're nice people. But it's also an assault weapon. Well, let me read the story, Jack. President Donald Trump took aim at Virginia Democrats in their push to stiffen the state's gun laws, saying that the Constitution was under attack just as thousands of armed militia members began arriving in Richmond for a Monday gun rally. And I just want to point out the start of that. Donald Trump took aim. You like that?
Yeah, that's so lazy.
It's Donald Trump's fault, you guys, that he's being honest. He is. The Constitution is directly under attack in Virginia right now, the Second Amendment itself. But Donald Trump is the bad one. And these militias are coming to Richmond, you guys. Well, they're coming to Richmond because that's where this shit is happening.
Hate fact.
Donald Trump doubled down on his support for gun enthusiasts in the state, which Hillary Clinton won in 2016, and where Democrats took full control of the state legislature for the first time in a generation in November, as candidates made passing stronger gun control laws a central campaign theme. True. That's true. I'll give him that much. Quote, your Second Amendment is under a very serious attack in the great Commonwealth of Virginia, Trump wrote in a post on Twitter Friday night, referring to the amendment in the Bill of Rights that gives Americans the right to keep and bear firearms. Quote, that's what happens when you vote for Democrats. They will take your guns away. Is he wrong? Anyway.
Nope.
The Virginia Senate late on Thursday passed bills to require background checks on all firearms, limit handgun purchases to one a month, and restore local government's rights to ban weapons from public buildings and other venues. It's a nice way of dressing up the law.
Yeah, seriously.
Gun control activists have reported a growing number of online death threats as the lawmakers press on and ahead of a rally by arms enthusiasts on Monday in Richmond, the state capital, which authorities are trying to keep from becoming violent. Do you see where this is going?
Yeah.
Both Virginia legislative houses are expected to pass the new laws, including universal background checks, a ban on assault rifles, and red flag laws that would allow courts and local law enforcement to remove guns from people deemed to be risk to communities, among other measures. Do you like how they did that last part there? Among other measures.
Yeah, they're really burying what's going on. It's so lazy.
Supporters say more restrictive gun laws would help decrease the number of people killed by guns each year. Gun rights activists assert that the Constitution guarantees their right to possess any firearm. Strap in, guys. Here comes the part that really pissed me off when I read this stupid ass story. Militias, neo-Nazis, and other groups have vowed to swarm the Capitol, and police are expecting several thousand people at a pro-gun rally on Monday. On Thursday, the FBI arrested 3 members of a small neo-Nazi group who authorities said hoped to ignite a race war through violent acts at the rally, reminiscent of a 2017 white supremacist rally in nearby Charlottesville. The rally proved to be a critical moment in the rise of the alt-right, a loose alignment of fringe groups centered on white nationalism and emboldened by Trump's 2016 election. Trump was criticized from the left and right for initially saying there were fine people on both sides of a dispute between neo-Nazis and their opponents at the rallies. The end. That is a goddamned lie.
Yeah, the whole thing was disingenuous.
I read this. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? One, they downplay what the law actually does to the point of absurdity.
Yeah.
And then militias and neo-Nazis and other groups. Really? You mean like military groups, regular people? This isn't like the Charlottesville rally, which, by the way, wasn't just about alt-right. The actual term of it was unite the right. They were trying to stop a statue from being torn down.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that had like Civil War heritage, that sort of thing there. It wasn't just a bunch of right-wingers.
There are rallies at that fucking statue all the time. There was one a couple of months later that nobody covered.
Yeah,
nobody gave a shit.
Cared.
But this one, they had to get over there and help, build up that tinder box, even though the only thing that happened was that one asshole ran his car into people.
Well, it's because he was being chased by somebody with a gun.
And even if he wasn't, he's still one asshole.
Yeah, it's one person doing one thing that has very tenuous connections to anything going on. This whole thing is a setup, I'm telling you. Some asshole Antifa type is going to cause a problem out there.
Oh, of course.
I'm putting 90% on it.
And if you're going to this, I'm telling you, please keep your finger off the trigger.
Yeah. In fact, if you're a gun supporter, don't carry while you're there. And unless you are carrying something small on your ankle. Because if you're open carrying down there, you're going to be a target. I guarantee it.
Well, one, you'll be arrested. Remember, the governor has declared a state of emergency because they have credible threats.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying don't carry, because carry your cameras.
Yes,
keep them rolling at all times.
Yeah, Zombie Teddy, you're exactly right. Carry your camera.
Yep.
and
film everything. Live stream it if you can.
Yep. Let them see what's actually going on and where violence is actually coming from. And if you're on the pro-gun side, don't be violent. You're not going to help anybody by doing that.
No, you're just going to hurt the cause.
Yep. Can't arrest them all. Everyone should carry. No, Caramon, it's not just about being arrested. You're giving them a reason, and don't.
Yeah, don't give them a reason to shoot you, for one.
Mike Downey, thank you so much. Keep your booger hooker off the bang switch. Definitely. If you are carrying, don't pull. The same laws anywhere. Don't pull it out unless you're willing to use it. And there should be no reason for you willing to use it.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for stuff, and this is not it. This is not the time to be violent. This is
a setup.
This is absolutely a setup. Don't fall into their trap. Don't give them a reason, because they're looking at this as a test case for the rest of the country.
Yep.
And if you care about your rights, this is not the stand that you want to the hill to die on. This is not it. This is a setup for a John Brown event. They're looking for some people to create as boogeymen. Don't be one of them.
Yep.
Because no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're wrong. So be very careful with how you approach things, how you talk to people.
Assassin of the Gray, Heather was actually hit by the car. You can see it if you watch it in slow motion.
There's a lot of fat people there. It's easy to understand that, you get confused about which fatty got hit by the car.
Yeah, this whole thing that she wasn't hit came out because her mom said she died of a heart attack, which is true. She didn't die from what's the word? From being the car itself, the injuries from that. She had a heart attack, but it still happened because she got hit by a car. You can go and watch the actual tape in slow motion. You can see her fat ass go up over the hood. Blunt force trauma. Thank you, ex Bubba Hotep. That was the word I was looking for.
If you listen close, you can hear it like the Zapruder film, but it's moo. Yeah,
she absolutely was hit by that car, and that is that led to her having the heart attack. But yeah,
that and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, they need to arrest McDonald's. Find that fucking big shoed clown and put his ass in jail.
He didn't make her go. That's her own fault.
Hey, no, he contributed to her clogged arteries, man.
No, she chose to go to him. Not guilty.
There was a second car that came from the grassy knoll. Oh shit. Anyhow, she shouldn't have been in the road. I agree with that as well. Sad boy, thank you. Wait, she was a cow? No. He said moo, but I figured I'd do a better cow.
Yeah, it's more fun to do the moo sound.
No. Cows, I hate cows, man. They're tasty, but they're stupid. I agree it's a setup. I understand why people want to bring their guns, but don't do it this time and place. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's about optics.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time and a place to do things, and you have to remember how it looks to normal people.
Yep.
And the perception matters. I know you're angry now, but this is not the time to let the anger overwhelm you. This is the time to think about what they're trying to set you up for.
And that doesn't mean you can't go and rally and argue for it. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. You should definitely be out there rallying, but you got to pay attention to the setup that this clearly is. This is a trap.
Think about that article I just read, guys. That's what normies are hearing. That's what your person just watching. The other day, Jack, on CBS This Morning, my wife watches that in the morning.
Yeah.
And I woke up to them talking about this. No mention at all about confiscation. None.
No, of course not, because the media is in on this.
No mention at all of how vague the fucking rules are. The rules that they're setting up. If I haven't read them recently, and I really should, but the last ones I read, pretty much any gun counts as we can ban it right now. Right now. And once we do, you can't have it anymore. It's not just that you can't buy it anymore. You can't have it. Like I said, the last one I actually saw, so that's one I can speak on. They had a grandfathered clause that lasted until July. And then at that point, you were not even allowed to own it anymore. People die in revolutions. Don't be eager to start one, because if gun owners rise up, a lot of other shit will happen. Rapes, violence, racist violence. It always goes beyond surface projections. Exactly, Snub. Go back to the stupid Unite the Right rally. How many people even know what that was about? That it was about that goddamn statue. That's not even mentioned in the news stories. It's like, oh, it's just the rise of the alt-right. No, it was actually the death of the alt-right, if you want to be honest about it. It's what pretty much tore them apart. And that incident, it gave them a momentary burst. And they were all over the news for a minute. And then they just kind of went away. Anyhow, I read that story today, Jack, and I just got pissed. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Because they're already trying to set gun owners up as boogeymen and villains. And if this goes bad, that's exactly what they'll get. You'll create the boogeyman they're trying so desperately to create that they think is around every corner and shrub. And I understand people are very angry, but don't give them what they're asking for, because you're going to get a lot of innocent people killed.
Yep. And maybe you. Cows aren't stupid. They know what they're here for. They try to irradiate you as retaliation. Oh, I see what you did. Imagine if those jackasses had not been chanting the night before. Yeah. I mean, those idiots. Oh, God.
That's what I'm talking about. You make yourself look weird to normal people, and you start making people have a perception. It gives them the opportunity to craft a narrative. Like, they don't have to play any audio of what you're saying. You just see a video of a bunch of people walking around with torches. It looks weird. It reminds people of the old Klan days. So they're able to draw those connections out and create a story around what you're doing.
Backstand says, with Antifa in a bunch, even if a punch is thrown, it's going to be the gun owner's fault. Of course, any violence that comes from, well, you have to remember, Antifa is actually on the side of the gun owners in this.
I wouldn't trust that for a fucking second.
Neither would I. But violence that happens here is going to be blamed on the gun owners even being there. How dare they? How dare? That's how it's been in every one of these fucking things. That Unite the Right rally, if the left had paid as much attention to it as it does every other fucking rally, no violence would have happened. But they decided, oh, we got to go there. And the news showed up, and yeah, it became this huge big deal. And who got blamed for it all? It wasn't the people who showed up to be antagonistic. It wasn't the people who showed up to cause a problem. It was the ones who showed up for a permitted rally.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The news, and I'm not being conspiratorial, this is just history and fact. The news is going to side with the left every fucking time. You got the right has to be better than the left. That's just, it's not fair, but welcome to life.
Yeah, you have to think differently to work around the problems that you're presented with. They're always going to take the side of your enemy. Just remember that.
Kermont said Antifa were labeled domestic terrorists. How can they be allowed there? You'd have to ask them. And Faithless says Antifa won't have a clear enemy to confront, though, so they may behave. You're looking at it the wrong way, Faithless. I think me and Jack are on the same page here when we say we don't trust that. If you know of Antifa there, keep a close camera on those little shits. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see one of them pull a gun.
I wouldn't either. They'll try and dress up like some exaggerated version of a right-winger and cause an incident that way. That's why if I were them, I'd try and be as far away from Antifa as possible, because that's where the problem's likely to start.
Be prepared for gun owners to stand aggressively.
And smirking aggressively.
Yeah. This is a bad situation, man. I hope that when I see the news on Monday that it was a very boring rally.
Yeah, that's the best we can hope for. People need to be aware of the situation, but we can't afford to have violence at these kind of events, because it really undermines the message. These people will use any violence that you intentionally or unintentionally have as a method of destroying your messaging and destroying your Second Amendment right.
Let me ask you this, because Antifa has said that they're doing it because they're against the police in the state, mostly because they're against the police.
Yeah.
We also know they're not big fans of the right. So, and guys, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but how implausible is this that somebody from Antifa decides, you know what, I'm going to fire into this group of police, and I'm not the one that's going to get blamed.
That's what I'm afraid is going to happen. It'll be either them or a plant from one of Northam's people setting something up. Some zealot that doesn't mind being a martyr because then they're known. And they'll go out and cause the problem and make it look like a right-winger did it. They'll hang out with some right-wingers. They'll shoot at the cops.
Yep. 2 birds, 1 stone right there.
Absolutely.
If you think we're being a little too conspiratorial here, go look up Fast and Furious. Go look up the rationale for why Obama was like, yeah, go ahead and give the cartels guns. It was to start a conversation on getting rid of guns, you guys. Because the hope was that the cartels would come kill some of us.
Yep. And I won't put it above any of the alphabet agencies that are clearly corrupted. I'm sorry. I'm not sad. But, that might have a rogue actor, shall we say, being willing to set something like that up.
Yeah. We were asked, did we see that guns were banned by the governor there? Yeah, it's actually all weapons and armor is what the emergency order says. Yeah. You can't wear armor for when the police start shooting. I'm very hopeful that the police are there to do their job and that none of them are looking to kill. That there's no shitbag police. Most police are good, and I hope these guys are like, guys, I'm sorry, I have to do my job, kind of thing. But this is a bad situation. Seriously, guys, this is a bad situation. This is a setup. Don't fall for it, please. This is a setup to go, look, we need to take their guns. Look what happened.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And they'll use the National Guard to do it, too, which means there's probably going to be more dead people.
Oh, what a depressing thing to talk about.
It is. I don't want any innocent people on either side of this because a lot of these military and police are very sympathetic to the situation, but they still have to do their job.
Exactly.
And they're not going to like it because they're going to be in danger and they got to go disarm a bunch of honest, normal citizens. But that's what's going to end up happening if this goes bad.
And I'm wondering about that because the militias, at least some of them, are like, yeah, we're going to be carrying. And Northam has said you can't be carrying, which means we already have a conflict before anything starts. But that's why I say, guys, don't open carry, for fuck's sake. I would not be surprised at all if there were plants who start violence. Me neither. Cirque says, Ranting Monkey, sorry, but a long Streamlabs incoming. Do your thing, man. Fuck you. How dare you give me money? Motherfucker. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a good time to remind you we're brought to you by you. Like, share, and throw money at Jack, you guys. Throw money at Jack Streamlabs. Some dumbasses are going to show up with their kids too. Yeah, I won't be surprised by that. And it's not just going to be the police there, guys. You're going to have Moms Demand Action, who are now part of what is Bloomberg's bullshit thing? America, something with America in the title. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Thank you, William Savage. Back burner Lords of the Night callback. Blind Press said she couldn't get customized eyes this night on Lords of the Night. The rep out of Texas, Dan Crenshaw, proves that's false. Canada just doesn't want to pay. She's been robbed. Thank you for the donation. And she did mention at the very end of that conversation that she thinks part of it is because the government paid for it. Because I think it was Scribe who asked her if she had a smiley face eye. But because I'm assuming that they use the Canadian Health Service there, whatever it's called. I don't know. But that, they're like, no, we can only give you regular eyes because I feel like a regular marble sized one or marble colored one would be easier to make. But apparently theirs has to have a regular looking pupil and iris, which sucks because she could have some cool things in there. Circus Zero, thank you. You want to open carry at this rally? Show up carrying golf clubs in a gold bag or a basketball or a baseball bat with a catcher's mitt attached. Respond with ridiculousness. Show the normies how ridiculous these people are. I quite agree. I still say wiffle ball bat because I think that's funnier. Or get those, for the little kids, those big red bats that are ridiculously oversized, the plastic ones. Yeah. Ridiculousness demands ridiculousness. And I think we need a lot more of that in our life. We become too serious in politics and stuff these days. My brother gets custom shells for his eye. Some of them are freaky. Yeah. Again, she did mention at the very end of that conversation that she thinks it's probably because it's government healthcare there. She could probably find a way to buy them herself, but I'm imagining those things are not cheap. Anything that has to do with our bodies and medicine is not cheap. And I don't care where you live, guys. Wiffle bat war, yes.
Real quick over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, X Bubba Hotep, for the donation. Here's some money thrown your way, although it isn't as fun as throwing change at homeless people. That's very true. That is a lot of fun.
Well, if you want to make sure he doesn't become homeless, make sure you throw change at him. YouTube censoring my comments. Sorry, Richo. I wish they wouldn't do that shit. Get a pool noodle. Anyone suggesting that as a threat is a moron. Well, I mean, anybody suggesting that just because somebody has a gun, they're a threat is also a moron. But I get your point. Yeah, I really do agree with Milo Yiannopoulos is the first one I heard say it. So that's where I give credit that you have to respond to the ridiculous with ridiculousness. And I think that's true. That's why I mock people on Twitter.
Twitter's full of mockable people too.
It is, and it's glorious. It's glorious. Australia and New Zealand had, what taken away after bleep. Don't fall for it, USA. Oh, he's saying Australia and New Zealand had guns taken away after mass shootings. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, I don't think you can use the word Christchurch in there anymore.
Probably not. What if that's the church you go to? That's not the only Christ church in the world. What if you do go to that one? Or if you live there, sorry, because that's a place.
Well, you could never talk about it. It's like the whole town is Fight Club.
Regio says, yep, that's what they were censoring. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
YouTube has a really weird set of rules when it comes to stuff like this. We can't talk about it. Well, we can talk about current events, but they can't be monetized if they're too violent or graphic or anything like that. And I get it. Like that retarded kid who got beat up by the four black guys or was two black girls and two black guys who had kidnapped him in, what was that, Chicago?
Yeah.
I get them not wanting that video shown gratuitously. But it was news. And if you showed just a clip of it real fast, I don't think that's a problem. I don't want to see people being killed or horribly beaten all the time on Twitter. God damn it, I keep saying Twitter, man. On YouTube. But if you're a news show talking about the news, come on, man. There's a legitimate denomination of Christianity called Church of Christ. Oh, yeah, there is. The Latter-day Saints. So when you're going to change the O in your name to a 0? Never. My name has been this way for a long time, and I will argue with YouTube about this forever if I have to, because they need to stop it. They need to stop thinking just because you use an adjective before you say monkey that it's racist in somehow. You ignorant shits. How dare you think the word monkey means black, you racist motherfuckers. Somebody remind me in the first 10 minutes tomorrow to have a rant on that so I can yell at another YouTube employee. They fucking ignore me on Twitter when I bring this up, but I know somebody has to be listening to that first little part, and it makes me happy to at least get it out a little bit. Make one of their goddamn employees have to listen to my shit. Yeah, Guys, we're almost at the end of the show, and I feel like this is a good time to start wrapping up. Chat, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. And again, if you're in Richmond tomorrow, please keep a cool, or in Monday, sorry, keep a cool head.
Yeah, be careful and watch out what's going on. Oh, before we go, important thing: the Tory girl from Target.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I forgot to bring that up.
Yeah, there was Carpe Donktum, I think it was.
Yep.
Did a GoFundMe for her, raised $19,000, and he got a hold of her to give her the money.
Yes.
So good for her.
We didn't get a chance to talk about that on this show. So what happened is this asshole goes to Target and he sees the display, and Target marks their displays as 1 cent. And he demanded an actual boxed Sonic Care toothbrush for 1 cent, and they told him no. So this motherfucker called the police. Because they wouldn't give him this toothbrush for 1 cent. And he goes on to Twitter to bitch about it and uses her picture and her name and talks about how she wouldn't do this. And the cop told him he'd have to go to court, and he hasn't been to the dentist in 3 years. Well, when you're a dick on Twitter, people tend to go digging through it. Becca says 25K plus. Wow. What's that now?
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I saw it earlier, and it was where you said, Jack. Let's see. Let's go over to Carpe and find the link, because I'm sure it's still in here somewhere.
She earned every penny of it dealing with that idiot. Yeah,
absolutely. But this guy, this isn't the first time he's done it. He's tried to do this with Walmart. He tried to do it with, he did it with McDonald's because the chick behind the counter wouldn't refill his drink. And my guess is that this is the kind of store that has a fountain out in the lobby. Let's see. It's up to $27,500. Fuck. Wow. So yeah, anyway, this little shithead does this. So Carpe Donktum set up the GoFundMe, and yeah, he was trying to raise $5,000 so she could have a vacation, a much needed vacation. And yeah, she's up to 27K. Good for her, and fuck that guy.
Yeah, I saw where he mentioned that he had pulled this off a couple times where he gets gift certificates.
Yeah.
Gift cards. Yeah.
I'll tell you this right now. If you ever get told no at a Walmart service desk, call their home office and bitch. It was really hard running the front end, Jack, because the people at the service desk know the policies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they would tell people, no, you can't return that. No, we can't do this, following policies. Same with cashiers most of the time, but service desk had to deal with it the most. And so they'd call me up there, and 99 times out of 100, I would give the customer their way. And the reason for that is because if you don't, home office is going to give them their way and $50. They would give them just a flat $50 gift certificate for their trouble.
Wow.
Yeah. Caramon says, I don't believe she was fired. No, she wasn't fired over it.
She shouldn't have been. She did everything right.
Yep. Caramon says, I wonder what the taxes will be total. Probably a quarter of that or so. So yeah, she'll end up with a nice bit of money. And not fired, but he did dox her. He did, and he's a cocksucker. This same guy, I haven't been to the dentist in 3 years, so I need a good toothbrush, and that's why I'm so upset about this. That's what he actually said on Twitter. A year and a half ago, he was bragging on Twitter about how great it was to go into a dentist office and change the channel from Fox News. Apparently, he's not real good with math.
No, he's kind of dumb.
He's a douchebag. He really is. And it's funny because I've never seen this before, ever. People contacted CBS, and I forget the other company. I think it's AXS. He lists all these people that he's written for and done stuff. And CBS came out. We have no association with this motherfucker ever. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm not too far off. And the other company did it too. We don't work with this asshole.
I think I figured this out, actually.
Yeah.
Because there was one place that used a photograph he had taken. And I think what he does is he takes photos and puts them on the stock image sites. And
Oh,
because you can kind of like it's kind of like renting. You pay for one-time use.
yes.
When they use one of his pictures, he counts that as a credit. So if like CBS used one of his photos, he counts that as working for CBS.
Gotcha.
That's what I think he's doing.
Yeah, this guy's a douchebag, and fuck him. And I hope bad things happen to him in life. I hope he steps on a Lego every time he takes a step.
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
Fuck him. He's also a Magic the Gathering player.
Oh, that explains a lot right there.
I went over to his Facebook, or not his Facebook, his Twitter, and was digging around, just looking, laughing. And for this guy who's so broke, man, he spends a shit ton of money on Magic.
That's why he's broke. Those cards are expensive as fuck.
Uh-huh.
It's not nearly as popular as it used to be, but in one of my unboxing videos, I pulled a rare out of there. I sold it on eBay for $45. And it sold within 10 minutes of being posted.
If you go through and read the stuff he brags about, oh no, I went to his Twitch channel. That's where the really great part is. Go to his Twitch channel and scroll down and read his description. It's fucking amazing. He brags about how Magic the Gathering sent him to somewhere for some launch, and the people that work at Magic told him he should stream, so that's why he started doing it. And he's won lots of Magic the Gathering tournaments, guys, including thousands of dollars. And if you don't know what's going on there, Jack, what he says next, it might sound like he won thousands of dollars in Magic the Gathering. He won cards that, it will be worth it, but that's not the same as winning a tournament. What he won was packs of cards and just happened to get a good card inside.
Yeah, it's random.
Yeah, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's disingenuous. And he was threatening a lawsuit so that they would give him a gift card. So he would shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't checked out the hashtag tonight. I'll scroll that real fast and then we'll wrap up. And Becca says that Richo will have to hope that I share the pictures because Richo apparently is banned from the Twitter. Jordan, my goodness. See, I like the way Jordan's last one, which I see from 58 minutes ago, the chick who's just showing off her panties there in the third picture down, the little Asian chick. I just like how she's sitting. She seems so friendly and helpful. Why are we're getting a lot of panty shots? Do these women know that these are be taken? I mean, I feel like some of them do, but oh my. Yeah, definitely check out the hashtag. Oh. All right, y'all know I like my brunettes, but holy shit. I got to share this one because sharing is caring, Jack. That's just art. Look at that. That's even Jack size. She looks slim enough to be Jack size. That's just art right there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful boudoir photograph that should be on every mantelpiece and in my subterranean love den.
That's how Lady Monkey should be all the time.
Yeah, that girl is quite the physical specimen.
I just like the pose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my. Yeah, lots of good stuff over there, guys. Oh my goodness, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up because I almost missed it. I'd have seen it tomorrow, I'm sure. Oh, and Becca, you've been busy. Wow. Okay.
Charlie said, damn, I'd do her.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Charlie, you're going to make people in the audience scream themselves. Be careful. Thank you so much for the donations. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that and how much it helps out. We went shopping the other day. Groceries are expensive, Jack.
Yeah, they're a ripoff.
Damn. It's like, I don't have to eat. But thank you guys. You guys keep me in food and heat and all kinds of nice stuff. You guys are amazing. Jack, is there anything you'd like to shill tonight?
I want to thank everybody for the donations, and I'll throw a link to my latest video in there.
We don't have a Lords of the Night coming up, but or tonight. We'll be back Monday on Satsu's channel. But tonight we're going to be on 2 Cents Plus playing some more Dark Souls. It's our long stream, so show up around 7, settle in, and have a good time with us. We'll be there for about 4 hours, so come hang out. Chat, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Jack, always a pleasure talking to you, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Everybody, have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.